Okay, so welcome to another episode of the Memery Hole, episode 37, I believe. Player 1 is not here, so player 4 has entered the room. Do you want to say hi to everyone, player 4?
Hello, thank you for having me. It's nice to be in the room.
And returning player 3, aka the Embassy of Taiwan.
Hello. Almost won a pub quiz the other night as Embassy of Taiwan, and we came third, and it was worth just hearing the Embassy of Taiwan called out in the pub. They were very confused.
Yeah, when we used to go to the pub quiz, we used to try and put funny answers for everything and try and come last, and always have a team name that they'd never read out. It's pretty funny.
Did you ever come last and succeed?
Succeeding coming last a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Embassy of Taiwan, I love it.
Let's jump in. So we'll start off with the memes from a year ago. So we got Sesame Street, Elmo's first heart attack.
I'll take it that that's a reference to
Don't say it.
The 100% safe thingy-majiggy that we won't mention.
Why would you say that? What?
So just some conspiracy theory thing I heard about, and I must be getting myself confused and my wires crossed.
You have not been invited onto this huge platform to espouse conspiracy theories about whatever it is you're trying to espouse.
I'll consider my wrists firmly slapped.
New so-called Twitter pylons were made a criminal offence in the new online safety bill.
Kinky. It's like that when that woman said that she got assaulted in the metaverse, and then the video is just like two avatars in Roblox, I think it is, just like chasing around.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, going like, oh yeah, come here. She's like trying to get away from them.
Oh mate, I have a great joke that goes along with that. Where is it? Can you hear this?
Kill Tony.
Oh, it's podcast. But yeah. So this goes nice little joke that goes with what player 3 was just discussing.
A lady claimed she was gang raped in the metaverse. Ladies, remember the same rules apply in the metaverse that apply in real life. Don't wear provocative clothing. Okay, that's all I got. Wow.
Who's that player 1?
William Montgomery. He's been a regular on that show for 4 years.
He sounds like a Civil War general for the South Side, doesn't he?
He's from Memphis,
he looks
Tennessee.
like one as well. Is he? Yeah.
He definitely looks the part for sure. The Confederate flag missing.
Yeah, it's a shame what he's saying is so progressive.
Indeed.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of videos made of that, and they're doing quite well on my other channel. So once I've reached success there, I'll probably try and drip feed that over here.
Yeah, the old bait and switch.
There was a Sam Hyde channel that used to be like some nature channel, like some walks through Asia, through the jungles and stuff, and then it suddenly just became like a Sam Hyde clip shit. Just turned on a dime.
Yeah.
Older literature. Definite good and evil. Morally instructive and framed within transcendent evident virtues. Modern media. Wouldn't it be clever if it was awful and the world was grey and immoral?
I can't actually read them.
Oh, is it a bit small? I can make them bigger as we go.
Yes, please. I mean, I can't even read with my glasses on. My glasses are nicer than those. But they're not much use for those small writing. Wouldn't it be?
I love how they've changed it to Comic Sans as well. Have you read any of George R.R. Martin's work?
I haven't, I'm afraid. I'm not a sci-fi fan. I don't read much sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
fantasy, sci-fi, Terry Pratchett's.
Harry Potter.
Any of these guys, I kind of missed the boat with that one. probably a bit too old.
Yeah, no nerds on this cast.
My girlfriend has all the books, loves them, reads them again and again and again.
The Game of Thrones ones.
Game of Thrones, all the Terry Pratchett, Discworld stuff, and a lot of other things like that. She loves it. She doesn't do
The thing
it
is,
for me.
his books, right, that he'll literally like describe like a suit of armor, like a whole page will be dedicated to just describing every little detail on a suit of armor. It's like you could cut these books like down by like maybe it's like 30% of what they are if you just took out all of that stuff.
All the waffle, the scripture
like
waffle.
And like but sometimes when he's describing a feast, it's so good because he'll describe it in so much detail that it makes you hungry.
It's a talent, but it can get pretty boring after a while.
Yeah. Speaking of the opposite of, speaking of hunger. Bigger artist, like a second potato famine.
What was happening? What was happening when this meme was shared? What was going on?
Yeah.
What's Beggar?
Is this the famine we were supposed to have gotten over the summer? I'd one particularly neurotic friend of mine call me up and say, have you stockpiled food? I said, well, I've got. I always have a few tins in the back of the cupboard. Why? In case I can't bother going to the shop. He says no. He says there's a famine. It's happening now. I said, well, no, we've got some hot weather for a while. That's all it is. Don't worry about it. Apparently, a lot of people thought we were actually going to get a famine.
I think Begorra might be a naughty joke. I think it's meant to be bejesus, but they're making like a.
Oh, it's like what an Irish person says, like, "Oh, Begorra." It's like a second
Begorra,
yeah. Okay, brings from Palestine is a climate issue. Israel greenwashes its apartheid. And then I wrote, something tells me Hamas rockets aren't using renewable energy sources.
Why does everything have to intersect? Like, why? Like, it's like that that meme of It's Always Sunny where he's all cracked out in the post office thinking everything's connected, but it can be separate,
It seems to chop and change what the most important thread for them is too. So it seems that climate change is the main one at the moment. Racism is climate change, and Palestine is climate change.
Heart attacks, climate change.
Inflation too. Don't forget inflation. That's also climate change, not money printing. Climate change. Yeah.
I think they've worked out. That basically, like, climate change is something that we've done, so we can feel guilty about, and they know there's nothing we can really do about it, so it can be continued as a thing indefinitely to maintain control. I think that's kind of the reason. If we can't even keep control of a bloody virus, how are we going to control like the weather? That kind of it has that kind of visceral sort of hopelessness to it.
I mean,
Sorry,
number two.
That's cool. The invention wasn't hell like a church invention just to sort of scare the Begorra out of everyone?
It keeps people in check. It also, I don't know if you're allowed to quote Margaret Thatcher on this podcast.
Oh, we do.
Every week.
She did say that global warming provides a marvelous excuse for global socialism. That's quite clearly what it is.
God, she was far too good for us.
Wait.
Alt J, feeling unsafe is something that's quite foreign for men. The British band singer Joe Newman on how the trauma that followed the murder of a friend's sister led to their songs about dark subjects. Have you ever felt unsafe?
Are they saying foreigners are scary? Because I agree.
What's this in reference to? What's the context to it?
I think it's a friend's sister died, was murdered, and then
I can read it a bit now. Yeah.
But yeah, like I felt unsafe
feeling
in the dark at night.
Feeling unsafe is something that's quite foreign for men. That's bollocks.
We don't feel unsafe. We usually are unsafe because we're in like dangerous.
We're the ones who get attacked.
Go to war, get mugged.
Yeah. Yeah. When's the last time you heard of a woman being attacked in the street. It's a rarer event than men. It happens all the time. Even where I live, and I live in a very safe area. There's trouble at the weekend, and it's men who are usually the victim of it.
Is that because you're the one going out there and?
Well, that's it.
That's why you have detailed knowledge of who's being
out there targeting
hunted. Yeah.
I am the predator.
Do you ever listen to Off Menu podcast? James Acaster. He was talking about like how he felt unsafe on the train because he was like, there's a bunch of youths just there, and he like on the last train back to Kettering, and he like split out like, I feel very unsafe, and they're like, why? He's like, there's 20 of you, there's one of me, I feel quite unsafe.
It's like a peep show moment.
Yeah. Apparently it diffused them though.
Yeah, they're probably baffled.
I wish there was a shortcut for bring to front. There probably is, I just don't know it. Joe Rogan is like some barbarian Khan from the steppes that took an interest in intellectual things, and his show is basically him bringing slightly nervous scholars and magicians to come before him to explain how the world works. Glasses man, you explain to Joe why big sky and how tree grow, but he will also believe almost anything you tell him, and only recently in the past few years does he clap back like, Tiny Hat Man say otherwise, do you lie to Joe? Tiny Hat Man say fat not bad for you, that sugar is enemy, so which is truth? Joe thinks you are wrong, and people just nervously go, oh, okay, haha, yeah, I guess so. Joe spent many moons on horseback and training with bow and sword, but Joe also wonder why skyfire rise from mountains every morning. You will explain this to Joe.
He's the world's smartest dumb guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I
have.
Go ahead.
Oh, go on. No, go on.
I was just going to say, yeah, he's... I don't listen to Joe Rogan's podcast for Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
great guest he gets on.
He's the blank slate. I watched I watched that Graham Hancock one though.
The data.
Yeah, the data guy.
Go Bepley Teppy.
Binged his whole series last night.
Oh, is it any good?
It's loads of shots of him just walking around in slow motion, which is quite a weird choice because he's got a bit of a weird walk and I don't know what he's trying to do, but he keeps talking about mainstream archaeologists, which is I think it's quite a cool term. He keeps railing against them, talking about how they feel personally attacked by him. And it's good if you want to go into bonkers land because he's got some good points. And I feel like there is there's an argument there that, yeah, of course, stuff could have got forgotten about, right? Because like we had the Dark Ages and shit, so there could have been something else like that. But he leans very hard into giants and gods and stuff. So it's a bit
I don't get why these people are so impressed by the pyramids. Like, it's just a big pile of rocks, isn't it? Like
but it lines up with the stars, I think, is the main thing, right?
But so what? Like, I could build something that lines up with the stars.
How did they build them? How did they build them?
They had slaves, didn't they?
Yeah, lots of pulleys and levers and so on. It was pretty genius.
Only we had slaves. The Egyptians never had slaves. They chanted, and the 70-ton rocks were lifted. He says so. It's a new technological arm, or an old technological arm, but it's a different type of technology, or something like that. Yeah, it is fully bonkers, but he's perfect Joe Rogan fodder, just because he explains the sky fire in a good fun way.
I think every politician should be forced to eat 5 grams of mushrooms before they take office. We've got the data. It helps. Yeah. It stops people from having depression. It makes people more kind. So let's do it. Let's force these people, Joe. It's part of our past, you see. We need to... They have no right to stop us from putting what we want in our bodies.
I wonder if he's related to Matt Hancock. That'd be a fun fun little family drama.
Speaking of wankers, this nice little.
So, are they flesh tunnels?
Yeah,
flesh tunnels. Yeah,
I've never heard it called that before.
Like my first flesh tunnel. What is it?
A flashlight.
Exactly that. Yeah, flashlight. Yeah.
Someone sent me a Thomas the Tank Engine one yesterday. Not in real life, a picture of one. But they have in Japan, in the sex shops, you go in and they have like a whole room just like full of different like fake vaginas. Like some are like anime girls that they say this is what their vagina's like, or like actual porn stars like what do you call it? Molded,
Like molds.
Yeah. But I'm looking inside them because they have like a cross section of them so you can see what's inside, and I'm like, are vaginas this varied, like on the inside, because they have like all different colours, shapes, sizes, like textures, or is it literally just they're scientifically like finding the best texture for you?
Yeah, they seem to really not want their populations to have sex in Japan, don't they? I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. They've got like super low birth rates, haven't they? In aging population, apparently no one's having sex, or if they are, they're certainly not getting pregnant.
I wouldn't know if this thing was on offer. If this thing was on the shelf here, I'd be.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm actually reconsidering my current relationship and thinking about ordering one.
Get a good old Disney themed flesh tunnel.
Flesh light, not flesh tunnels. Those things you shove in your ears.
You could incorporate those into the play.
Oh yeah. Why not?
Okay, we got some Peter Hitchens. So what do you? So dear Peter Hitchens, have you ever read Julius Evola? What is Julius Evola? I thought you guys are more literary than
I have no clue.
I know who Julius Evola is. I've never read him, but I know who he is. He's an Italian. He was an Italian modernist author who is widely regarded as one of the most right-wing traditionalist authors of all time. He's very popular with sort of what's the term? White nationalist groups and so forth. Pretty fashy stuff. And that's probably why he's quite so curt. I highly doubt Hitchens hasn't read him. He's an old and very well read guy. I'd be very surprised to hear that he hasn't. I'm not saying that Hitchens is a fascist. I don't think he is. I'm just saying that I'd be surprised if Hitchens hasn't really read him. But it's a sort of difficult figure today, I think, to say you have read. If you're a public figure, to admit you read Julius Evola is pretty dangerous. He's our sponsor this week, isn't he? The Julius Evola. This podcast comes from the Julius Evola Foundation. Yeah, you can get. It's great work, great trad works.
Use promo code memehole.
Bash 69.
So it's a year on now. What has happened to the NHS app? Is it still going?
Who downloaded it?
I used it because I needed to have it for moving to Japan, and also I think that was it.
You're a
That's all I
big
used
cock.
it
You just reminded me I have it on my phone still. What the hell?
Get rid.
Yeah. It's probably why my battery's been so fucked.
The only thing I know about it is that it cost £37 billion, and we don't seem to yet know how it benefited us in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it just seems to have gone to dodgy companies. I can't remember the one that did the app, but like Serco gets the big contracts, other organisations like that.
Yeah. Since when was government spending supposed to be for our benefit? I think.
Well,
this year's annual spaff up the wall is the climate reparations to Pakistan.
Yeah. Climate reparations to Pakistan. They couldn't make it up.
If it was a fund to stop them from coming over here, would that be okay? Would that be a better reason?
I think a lot of people would agree with that. Yeah. They should probably angle it like that. It's all just a brand. Just rebrand it as that, and you'll be fine.
Pay him over there, so we don't have to fight him over here.
I hate to say it, but it probably would have more popular appeal.
Right. Okay. Let's zoom to this week or the past couple of weeks. What does that look like?
What is that on the top left?
I'm glad this made it because the caption's perfect. You will see it once and never again, and then I can't honestly see it again. Like my brain can only see the trees now.
Yeah, same.
Can't see the with the wood for the trees.
Even when it's tiny.
When it's tiny, I guess. Yeah. Okay. The effect kind of does come back. You're right.
Okay, let me bring this to the front.
I didn't really get what was going on with this, but I think just that everyone hates a pedo, right?
Yeah, it's the different ways that people think of paedophiles in economic, political terms. So the left the left authoritarians, we were just trying to bring further equality by lowering the age of consent to 12. Nothing else, we swear. Face the wall.
Face the wall. Yeah. No way. The altar boy was simply aiding me in changing my robes.
You taint the word of God, degenerate. No.
Can you make the bottom one a bit bigger? Make the whole thing obviously a bit bigger. I'm not a paedophile. I'm an M.A.P. It means minor attracted peers.
I don't care.
No, you don't understand. I'm not a paedophile. She was 15. I'm a phebophile.
Someone going to explain what an ephebophile is?
If I do it, you'll accuse me of being a paedophile, so I'm not going to do it.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I have to get an Urban Dictionary now.
Do you actually know?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's just attracted to people who are pubescent but are still under the age of consent, basically. So, like mid-teenage. Yeah, because like paedophiles technically people are
Japan,
prepubescent.
Basically Japan.
Yeah, Japan's age of consent laws.
or Italy or Germany.
Yeah.
I think it's 14 in Italy. Anyway, because in Germany, bestiality is legal. So.
Is it?
Yeah. You can legally marry animals in Germany. have loving relationships with them. Don't laugh. Give love a chance.
COOM to this asshole.
Love Trump's hate.
Let your daughter do porn. I want to COOM. Here's your annual reminder that Steven Crowder was the voice actor for Brain on Arthur.
This is true, right?
It's true, but I feel like it's a bit... If I was going to Snopes or PolitiFact this, I'd say misleading, because he wasn't the only voice of Brain. He was the voice for like 2 seasons, and there's been like 20 seasons of that show, but it's still funny to think about.
Yeah, it's a gig that he had.
I think it was when we were kids that he was.
Do you reckon that's like some sort of psyop then? Like you'll remember his voice from your childhood, so you're more likely to like listen to him now or something.
Yeah. Child actor to political gatekeeping pipeline.
Yeah.
Steven Crowder is as far right as you're allowed to be in polite society.
Isn't he got some like heart problem or something?
Yeah, he was in hospital
Crowder.
earlier this year.
He also did the voice of Elmo.
I'd have heart problems if I talked to leftists as much as he does. Yeah, what happened to Prime Minister? She's Prime Minister of New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
Jacinda Ardern. She could eat a baby through a fence.
Someone left the One Ring when they were filming Lord of the Rings, and she found it.
She does look like she had a soul and it's gone. Something sucked it out of her, and that's what's left. You know, a terrible creature.
I think the teeth plus gravity is the most reasonable explanation, grounded in reality. But I liked yours better.
What do you mean teeth? Like you mean like?
Huh?
Just getting a bit manky. Do you mean they just got a bit manky?
No, the size of them. They've just like forced the whole face to like droop.
She looks quite hot in the top right picture. It just looks totally different now. I'm sure it's all that. The reason she looks like that is because she's been cozying up to the Chinese Communist Party.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're not sending the best. They're probably sending her the wrong batch of adrenochrome.
Yeah.
May I relate to this so much? In the work bathroom too long and the motion detector lights go off.
Yeah. And having to flap around sat on the park.
I've been seeing that face during the rounds. What is that
I'm
meme
not
supposed to
sure.
be? It's a new one.
New
Is it-
kid on the block.
Is it supposed to be Schwab or someone?
Don't think so. I'm not sure. Have you heard this story? Be alert, the government is using CGI and holographic projection to create the illusion that Albanians are committing crime.
There's these things called computers and CGI that you might have heard of.
It's the only explanation.
Oh, it's a furry. I'm surprised there isn't a Ukraine flag, to be honest.
I don't know. Maybe this was pre then.
But this was a week ago.
Yeah, but it might have been percolating through for a while.
Yeah.
Poor man's wife, middle class man's wife, 500k to millionaire's wife, multimillionaire to billionaire's wife, multi-billionaire's Adderall riddled concubine.
Everyone's like, stop making fun of her looks, but it's like she stole billions and probably people have killed themselves as a result of that. So
Is that the richest woman in the world?
no, this is the FTX lady.
Oh,
The
it's part of
girlfriend.
that.
It's the girlfriend of that dude. She
Right.
runs.
This is the Democrat Ukraine money laundering scandal.
Exactly.
Ah.
I think we're gonna
that's
get
a
onto that, aren't we?
Yeah, that's a little preview, I guess. Maybe we'll do that next, and then I'll move to that slide next after this. But okay, that's
Cool.
that's a little tease.
She is a little tease.
First Thanksgiving back after your conspiracy theories came true, and you spot the one cousin that always believed you. Say when. Say when.
There he
Yeah.
is. Just a good guy.
That's so going to be my Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm in base Japan, so I don't have to do any of that nonsense. Here we go. So this was on, this TV show, The She-Hulk. It's like Marvel's. It's so weird that they're trying to break the fourth wall. It's basically like, and they think they're the first people in Marvel to do this, like completely ignoring that Deadpool did it and did it way better. But they have this like storyline where she's a lawyer who's being attacked by the trolls, and this is their like description of a typical troll. Someone who's into Bigfoot, US exercise, protein, and UFOs. I'm super into cryptocurrency and elk hunting. So they're literally just describing Joe Rogan. They think
I haven't seen many of the Marvel films, but aren't the villains usually a bit bigger than just an incel?
Yeah, this is a
if that's
TV
what-
show though, and the incels that they've got, right, they're all like really good looking, successful looking, well dressed, fashionable people. It's so bizarre. It's like, what are they doing?
They don't look anything like incels, in other words.
Yeah, which is also bizarre because the incels are the people who watch Marvel movies. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you attacking your own audience?
You see, profits aren't the main aim today. It's the message.
Oh yeah.
That's what that trumps shareholders' concerns.
Mm.
And then finally we have KFC apologizes for Kristallnacht chicken and cheese promotion.
That's just absolute gold. It's like do you remember the McDonald's Sunday Bloody Sunday promotion?
No.
that didn't go down too well in Northern Ireland, as you can imagine. Yeah, they were doing like 2-for-1 offers on McDonald's ice cream sundaes a few years ago. Yeah, Sunday Bloody Sunday. But this definitely beats it. This is gold.
I thought those guys liked a bargain. KFC customers.
Of course.
You can't mix chicken and cheese.
Yeah, I've always
It's not
thought that was
kosher.
a weird one. Oh, is it not?
Imagine if the K standard for kosher. Kosher fried chicken.
Yeah, I do love it when didn't Burger King also like put like a thing out there which was like a woman belongs in the kitchen.
Oh yeah,
And like,
yeah.
it was supposed to be like a recruitment, like trying to get more women chefs at Burger King or something like that.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. It's just best not to say anything, isn't it?
Okay, so should we move on to the Bankman story?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to? I haven't really been following this. Do you want to give like a little summary of what's going on?
Yeah, I'll give it my best. So like it's a cryptocurrency exchange that has had a meteoric rise with the head of it, Sam Bankman-Friedman, and his girlfriend, who also works at Alameda, which is another investment or maybe it's a PR company. And they've basically been collecting a lot of money, and they've just done a runner. And a lot of hedge funds are collapsing because they can't get any. A lot of their money was invested in this. He was like on the front cover of Forbes. He was hanging out with Tony Blair and Bill Clinton. Like everyone was saying, he's good shit. He's gonna put all the money back in, and he's just done a runner. And he also happened to be the second biggest funder of the Democrats in the midterms. And all this he ran off with the money after the midterms. It was quite strange timing that as well, but that's what I kind of know about it. What about you?
Didn't the organization come into existence 12 days after Biden announced that he was going to run for presidency? And hasn't it been shown also that Zelensky has been investing very large sums of money that presumably have come from aid sent there by the Democrats sending taxpayers' money, and then that money's being rinsed effectively
and put back into funding the Democrats. Yeah, because it's quite odd that you would be investing billions in some crypto thing when you're also asking for billions in aid. It does seem like a weird mix of
You're just trying to 10x
priorities.
10x.
He's trying to 10,000x. And then once you start looking into these guys as well, it's all just a bit dodge. So there's a whole sort of element where a lot of the logos have a lot of similarities to some pretty classic
I didn't
emblems.
know that these were related, so I'll add that in. So that's his girlfriend, right?
That's his girlfriend, yeah. She runs the Alameda Research Group, yeah. And she also has a Tumblr. And so this is a classic symbol for pedos, as shown in the WikiLeaks not too long ago. So it's all coming together.
Isn't that just Harry Potter though? Isn't that the that weird symbol thing that's in Harry Potter? Kind of looks like that as well. There's like that. What's that? There's a blue one and there's a red one as well. I think one represents being a nonce who's into little boys, and the other represents a nonce who's into little girls. So this is the one that's in Harry Potter.
Oh, it's a bit like that. Could do be a bit like that. I give you that. Fair enough. But yeah, she's run off with billions, and all of their stuff. And Sam Bankman-Friedman's brother also runs a company that has lots of funding from Gates. That's about preparing for the next pandemic, and it's all just, you start looking into it, and it's all just it's a hot mess. Is that the video? Is that a video in the top right there?
Yeah, we'll watch that at the end just to cleanse the palate. But here he is with the Dark Lord.
Yeah. The devil himself.
Yeah.
He's tiny, isn't he? Look at the size of him. Or is it that Bill Clinton and Tony Blair are huge?
I think he's just hunched because he's, one of these Silicon Valley type people who no one ever took. He's part of that generation where we stopped telling people to sit up straight.
It looks like Uri Geller. It's like if you crossed Uri Geller with a dwarf. This is what would come out.
Yeah, like he bent himself instead of the spoon.
Yeah.
Here's some info. So Joe Biden announced his presidential campaign. 13 days later, Sam Friedman, son of Barbara Fried, the co-founder of the political fundraising organization Mind the Gap and Get Out the Vote organizations, including the Center for Voter Information, launches the FTX crypto exchange. The exchange is an overnight success that enables Sam to become the second biggest donor to the Biden campaign. Really makes you think. Yeah,
he's only behind Soros. It's pretty insane, really, for that amount of money to be suddenly available to the Dems.
Yeah. It's very sloppy as well. The whole thing sort of speaks to how audacious they are at this stage. They feel untouchable.
Pissing
but
off the hedge
you
funds,
downloaded
you'd
a
think
bit
it
for
would.
the Republicans.
I reckon that was just like a typo. Like, you just probably did that by mistake.
It's crazy though.
Yeah.
The Republicans got more money anyway.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's why they have to cheat.
But like when you
Yeah,
look at
I mean-
but when you look at the fact that it's coming from multiple donors with the Republicans, that means you're kind of getting it's not like they're beholden to one person. They have like competing interests, I guess, which makes
Which
it.
Republicans? I mean, is it genuine Republicans or is it rhinos?
Oh no, yeah, I'm not saying that this is a good thing. I'm just saying like at least you have like a dissolution of the power between multiple competing interests rather than with the Democrats. It seems to always come from like a handful of people.
Well, that's why the message is so coherent and strong, isn't it, on their side? I guess.
Jesus,
Yeah,
George
sure.
Soros, 130 million dollars. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
how
actually-
much over time?
Yeah.
Mm.
He's probably
That's
in
just
this-
this cycle.
The only one I know here on this list is Peter Thiel. I don't actually know any of the other ones.
You don't know Jeff
Peter
Yass?
Thiel own PayPal.
Yes.
Yeah, he started PayPal with Elon Musk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's got Eric Weinstein as his right-hand man.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's his managing director of THIEL Capital.
Oh God. That guy just irritates me so much.
Yeah, he's obnoxious, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When he released his theory of the world, theory of everything, and then a bunch of mathematicians tore it apart, and then he did the typical like leftist move of like, oh, my family's being attacked and stuff, and like these people are awful. It's like they literally just pulled your thing apart mathematically, and even the PDF
Yeah.
for his thing says this is a work of entertainment only.
Yeah. He's so pissed off that Epstein didn't see him as important enough to blackmail. Like, he's always going on about how he just missed Epstein. It's like, all right, mate. Like, yeah.
Do you remember his story about going to Epstein's townhouse in Manhattan, and Epstein comes in and enormous, great big table, and Epstein walks in like half an hour late for the meeting, and he's bouncing a 22-year-old girl on his knee while he's talking to Weinstein. I just got the impression that Weinstein sort of felt jealous.
Yeah, he didn't get invited to the island, and
Yeah.
he's never gotten over it.
But
Never got in on the party.
he also said that one of the weird things I noticed was on the table he had this USA flag as the tablecloth. I'm like, am I being tested here? And then I was drawn to this weird piece of art on the wall, and I looked at it. And I said, I think I saw a camera.
Isn't it like Bill Clinton, like in a thong or something? Isn't that the artwork?
Yeah. Okay, let's watch this video.
Yeah. So here you can really get a flavor of the shilling that was going on for this guy.
But Sam is not a traditional billionaire because he believes in the concept of earn to give, which means his goal as a human is to make as much money as possible just to give it
I love how they need to tell you he's a human.
away. Earn to give. And that's exactly what he's doing.
So let's say that you have $100 and you want to figure out what you can do with it to help the world. Earning to give is thinking about which causes, which charities save the most lives per dollar. This $100 can go as far as it possibly can to help the world.
Last year, this 29-year-old guy donated $50 million. Next year, he's planning to donate $500 million a year. And next decade, he will probably give away more than $10 billion.
The amount of good that you can do.
I feel like it's kind of like. I feel like it's kind of like they understand that people are pissed that governments are spending their tax dollars in really bad ways, so they're now trying to like siphon it through like these individuals that people can like rally behind as like a cause. Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. But then they're not going to spend that money on the things that these people are saying they're going to spend it on either.
I love the ka-ching sound it did after the $100, like, and he'll make this $100 go as far as this $100 go. And it's like ka-ching. It's like, is that the right sound there? It's like just like softly admitting that he's just stealing it.
The thing is like this whole thing about this effective altruism movement. It's like they don't. don't people grasp how difficult it is to work out how far $100 is gonna go on behalf of somebody else, right? So like, the reason that like free markets and capitalism works is because that knowledge is best. Like, you know your situation best, so you can spend that money the best for yourself, right? The idea that some like person who has no idea who you are knows what's best for you is just insane.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
And that information, you couldn't possibly gather it without the pricing mechanism. Right? Pricing mechanism is what allows you to get that knowledge.
And the only way you could even like come close to being able to do this kind of stuff is if you have, you know, like this Internet of Things where we have like devices which are like measuring everything all the time and sending data to AI machines, which are then popping out answers about how, you know, how much electricity you're allowed to use this week because you've been using too much of it and other people need it. And it just becomes this, you know, techno-fascist state that we're all heading towards because of effective altruism, in scare quotes.
Yeah. Efficiency is sinister at the end of the day, isn't it? Like when it ends up being,
it's not even efficient.
That's not.
Yeah,
Well, exactly what I mean.
Our freedom.
Yeah, I know. Like, so the argument for the central bank digital currencies is that it's like able to better be able to respond to whatever, and so it's a bit like, well, yeah, at what cost, and also who's deciding? You can be efficient at running off a cliff, you know, like doesn't mean it's the right direction to be going.
Yeah,
sure.
Is the rest of this worth watching, or have we?
No, it's just a lot of loud chilling. It's just hilarious because I don't know, maybe time will tell. Maybe he will give 10 billion back over the next decade, but it's not looking like that as of this week.
Is he wanted? Is he on the run? What's the situation?
It's a good question. I haven't actually seen the word wanted anywhere. He's gone to Argentina, which, what a meme place. Like all the bad guys always want to go to Argentina. That must be pretty good.
Well, there be a few people there who would be willing to turn him in, though.
Possibly, right?
So a lot of Germans went after the war, right?
Yeah, I don't think they ever got turned in. What's his name? Sam Bankman-Friedman.
I don't think those people were kind of too keen on this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a month older than me. Fuck. What am I doing?
You need to find those keys.
Well, you don't look like you live under a bridge like this guy, so you know. I'd call that winning.
It's true, yeah, it's true. Also, he's vegan apparently, but look at the size of him. I don't believe that for a second.
Well, vegan people are fat because they eat loads of processed foods and like seed oils.
I thought it was because they low key just like pump themselves with Coca-Cola and other really fattening stuff while preaching about how healthy they are.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something here, right? Because I'm searching Bankman-Friedman. Wait, what's his name? Bankman-Friedman, right? Yeah. No, Bankman-Fried. Sorry, I'm searching Bankman-Fried wanted, and the first article that comes up is 3rd of April. A 30-year-old crypto billionaire wants to give his fortune. That's on Bloomberg. It's like, how easy was it just to like get articles and stuff to hype yourself up and get on the front cover of Forbes? That other lady that stole loads of money was on the front cover of Forbes. It's just like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's high-level corruption of the worst kind. I find it, you know, and I've already said this before, but I do find it extremely suspicious that this guy's business came into being only 12 days after Biden announced that he's running.
But him and his mates all lived on an island as well and had orgies, which sounds a bit similar to another certain someone
who perished in a prison cell when the cameras weren't on. That certain someone.
Okay, so should we move on? We've got Blue Chaos or the US election. It's
a trading. I was wrong, actually. It's a trading giant, the Alameda Research. It's not a PR thing. It's much bigger than that. Anyway, go on.
What do we want, Blue Chaos or US election?
Whoa, Blue Chaos sounds cool.
Yeah, we want something a bit fun. So yeah, the ongoing Twitter saga. So Twitter's to ban unlabeled parody accounts.
Oh yeah.
Which has actually resulted in talk about what's the word? Unforeseen consequences.
No, yeah. So yeah, I was just enjoying writing about this today actually. So it one Lockheed Martin fake account. So it was Lockheed Martini posted that they were no longer going to be selling weaponry to the USA, Saudis, or Israel. until they sort out their human rights, and their stock dropped by 5%, which was pretty big deal. But then also someone else pretended to be a pharmaceutical giant called Eli something or other, and Eli Lilly, and tweeted that insulin was now going to be free, and that wiped off 15 billion from the market value, and then also beautifully raised awareness of how ridiculously much those guys are charging, you know. So yeah, I'm loving it. But Musk has sadly backtracked and removed the feature for now until I don't know. He hasn't actually said why they've removed it, but I'm supposing that's why. I think people are thinking a lot of lawsuits are coming.
Let me just have funny stuff like George Bush saying I miss killing Iraqis and Tony Blair saying same, to be honest.
OJ Simpson saying, yeah, I did it.
Absolute gold.
It is absolute gold, yeah. No, it's beautiful. It's like the Wild West again on there. And people are absolutely losing their minds. The legacy, what they're calling themselves, the legacy blue Twitter holders, who now have to pay $8 and have learnt that their whole self-worth, what they leverage on for their self-worth, is worth less than a toilet brush. I put in my piece, yeah. So
You must please send that over, yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. But it's happy days, and I hope he sticks with it. I hope this is what it should be, really.
Yeah, I'm considering going back. I quit Twitter about a year ago, and in recent weeks I've been, opening little kind of soccer accounts just to go and just to bathe in the salty tears, really, and enjoy the warmth of it all.
Oh, are you all those like hot girls that keep adding me as a friend on Twitter?
Oh yeah, that's me. Busted. It does have a good feeling about it anyway. That hopefully it will continue this momentum, and he won't get sort of slapped down somewhere. I'm a bit worried about what's going to happen with the EU. The EU clearly wants Twitter to be regulated to keep so-called hate speech off it. And so
yeah, the European Union's whole tech strategy is to be that nerdy, annoying hall monitor that no one liked at school and ask you for your hall pass. But I don't think that's a very impressive one, really. They haven't got a single tech company of actual any value. I think you could argue maybe Spotify, but that's just music.
Well, they haven't produced anything really to rival Silicon Valley. And those companies haven't chosen to base themselves in France or Germany either. They've chosen to base themselves outside of America. I mean, in Ireland, because Ireland has a favourable competitive tax regime, which is antithetical to the men in grey suits in the European Commission.
Yeah, and they're actually forcing Ireland to get rid of that in the future to make it all a bit more of an even keel across the continent, apparently. But we're just as bad. We've got that online harms bill, and Twitter right now, as it is, wouldn't be able to it's not viable with the stuff that's packed in that bill, like protecting people from some vague idea of harm. I think clearly a lot of people have felt very harmed, which is what's so good about it.
Yeah, if you want to be protected from harm, you just don't go on Twitter, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, one good thing that came out of this is Ethan Klein from H3H3 got kicked. So did Kathy Griffith for impersonating Elon Musk.
So yeah, but I think also they mentioned something about Elon Musk's ties to Epstein, which I don't even know even exist. But that was kind of the bit that they're saying is what got them kicked off. But Kathy, I think that was just for trolls, right? That was just a trolling because she's just an awful human being. And make your own Twitter, Kathy.
Is she the one who had the severed Trump head in her hand on the front of some magazine?
Yeah.
Which at the same time as that, we had Jihadi John and bloody Islamic State and stuff chopping people's heads off. It was around that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a pretty appalling thing to do. A horrible woman.
Yeah.
How can you be so pious and behave like that.
Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna get down in the dirt, then at least bathe in it a bit, you know.
Yeah.
This was Candancula's tweet. Hello, Elon. You seem to have disabled name changes. I was wondering when that would be getting turned back on, as I appear to have got myself into a bit of a situation.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Stephen King's not happy. $20.
I thought Stephen King was dead.
He's the undead.
that'd be quite yeah. The Stephen King Twitter is actually the first sentient AI, and he died at his desk, and that's his last book or something.
Another Democrat voter, straight from the cemetery. There's no evidence of electoral fraud. And then why Stephen King tweeting and voting?
I thought this was a pretty shit take. So you're saying legalised comedy. Comedy is now legal on Twitter. Going forward, any Twitter handles engaging in impersonation without clearly specifying parody will be permanently suspended. So
I think this was because a lot of people were expecting no rules.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, a lot of the same people complaining about Twitter not allowing impersonations. A lot of the same people that are unhappy about that are the people that go on about misinformation. But if you're impersonating someone and spreading, obviously, misinformation, surely that can't be allowed according to their own values, no?
I think they use their motivations are status, right? Like they see the blue check mark as a status thing. It may have once meant, I think initially that's what it was for, right? It was to stop people impersonating celebrities, but then it became a status thing because they were giving them to basically journalists that no one's heard of. I guess you can make an argument that journalists should be given checks if they're actual journalists because, you know, they write on stuff or whatever. But I can see their point where now you just pay, and then it should be a tiered system, right? Like you can pay to be verified so that you're showing that you're a real person and not a bot, because that's Elon's argument. We're trying to get rid of the bots. But if you're like a famous person who is going to be impersonated by people, you should have some other marker that shows that you've been verified as a person who needs to be not impersonated as well. And then you should be allowed to have nothing so that you can say what you want and people can choose to ignore you if they think being anonymous is, you know, makes your opinion less valid.
I wonder if actually making everyone have the blue ticks and be verified is actually quite a bad thing in the end, because maybe it doesn't allow that. It's getting rid of the anonymousness of being on Twitter. Maybe if it doesn't allow you to have that third option, if that is just eventually going to be.
Is this concept of, was it KYC, like know your customer, where like it's like companies should know who they're dealing with, but then what about people who are like, you know, political activists who need anonymous things and not have like things tied to them so that, you know, like their tyrannical governments can like find out who they are and, you know, disappear them and things like that.
Yeah, we're even having journalists arrested in our own country at the moment for reporting on things like the Just Stop Oil protests, which is like Turkey under Tayyip Erdogan in some ways, not quite as extreme, and they're probably not being roughed up in the cop shops here, but they're still having journalists arrested. As long as that kind of thing is going on, then I think in the digital town square, as Musk is, I think, rightly calling Twitter, you need to have anonymity if you wish.
But I think like the bots are like, why are the bots such a bad thing? Like, can't we just see that as like the price we have to pay for like what Twitter was? Like, I don't see how what he's like, he has all these plans for Twitter that are just going to turn it into something that Twitter isn't. Like, he wants to have like long form videos that people can monetize. It's like, that's YouTube. Like, just keep it as Twitter and just stop with all the one-sided rules. Just get rid of that. You don't need to change the way Twitter functions as a platform. You just need to give it, if you're going to give it rules, give it clear rules and give people like explanations if they get banned, and bring people back for, you know, unban people who have been unfairly kicked off the platform. That's what you do. All this nonsense about like just like all these fucking tweaks that no one asked for.
Isn't he modelling it on the Chinese? You know, China has its own sort of state-run social media
An app for everything. Yeah.
An app for everything. Yeah, where it's everything rolled into one. With YouTube, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc., etc. Payments. Yeah, exactly. I think I read somewhere that that's what he's aiming at, which wouldn't surprise me. I don't want that myself. I like the idea of Twitter being.
Yeah, it's WeChat. Yeah, has WeChat not bled into Japan or anything then?
I've heard of it, but we use Line here.
Oh, fair. Yeah,
She's
maybe
dangerously centralized.
It's gonna be them. It's like that. It's gonna be that Anakin Skywalker, isn't it? It's gonna be you were the chosen one.
Okay. U.S. election. Not really that much to say about this, was there?
I think basically Republicans they got a kickback from one. Well, it turns out the Dems were funded by the crypto billionaire, but two, it was the I think it was such an aggressive move banning the abortion stuff that it had a kickback, which meant that they didn't win as much as they were expected to. I think is kind of the reading of what's happened, and then also single ladies have ruined our future apparently.
Yeah, that was my reading of it too. They managed to the single ladies they managed to mobilize the under 30s to vote like never before, and obviously also Roe versus Wade triggered the affluent liberal women vote, and then that combined with mass mail-in voting, which favors the Democrats, and it's outspending the Republicans about 3-1, meant that, and yeah.
Why does mail voting help the Dems? Is it just they're lazy or something? I don't get the.
It's the organization. It's the ballot harvesting that goes with it. They're able to just get a lot more votes in. You know, I'm obviously the sort of person who would say I'm convinced they're also scamming. I mean, even if you take the illegality and the possibilities of illegality out of it, it still favors them more so. Which is one of the reasons why I put so much into it. Even in the context of the COVIDs, Democrats were far more fearful of it in general.
They
far
promised
more likely to stay at home.
They promised free vaccines at the booths.
And a hamburger.
I wouldn't put anything past them. But we have reached a point now though where it's hard to see how the Republicans can ever win another election. I mean, they look completely lost at sea. The candidates, a lot of them were awful. I know DeSantis was a landslide winner in Florida. Florida. I mean, I've got my sister's in Florida right now. Actually, Florida's a very well-run state and a lot going for it. Other areas, Republicans they put forward, Trump's picks, for example, were absolutely dire, and they definitely underestimated the abortion decision too.
I think, yeah, I think in Georgia, I think the Dems had like a reverend, and the Republican guy was a Trump pick, and he's like beaten up his wife multiple times or something like that. Like it was just like that doesn't seem like a good matchup. But,
what is it with Trump? His inability to pick good people. Like his whole presidency was like picking bad people, wasn't it?
I think he's got the ego, hasn't he? So he doesn't want there to be another maestro in town.
I guess.
So it's probably an element of that going on, I would imagine.
Well, that he's intentionally picking incompetence in order for him to look better.
He probably doesn't feel comfortable around other competent people. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like Boris in our side was also a bit like that, surrounding himself with just chaos in order to scramble through everything.
Yeah, I think there may be something to that, because I mean, Trump picked people who went on to, when he was president, he picked people who went on to actively work against him, including to have him indicted. I mean, if you hire people that go on to try and put you in prison, maybe you should review your recruitment processes.
Who was this Oz guy anyway? I know Fetterman because he had that sort of meme surrounding him.
Dr. Oz, he was like the TV doctor. He was part of.
It's him.
Yeah, he was part of, what was her name? What's her name? The big famous black woman TV talk show.
Oprah.
Oprah, that's it. He was the doctor on Oprah's show for a long time. Then he got his own show. But yeah, this is the guy he lost to.
Mr. Fetterman. Mr. Fetterman,
Yeah,
you need any help?
I'm running for the U.S. Senate, kid. I need all the help I can get.
You're running for Senate?
Sure.
Where's your suit? And your flag pin? And your hair?
Oh, hey, kid.
I just want you to know I'd vote for you.
Hey, thanks, kid.
You want a drink?
Nah, no.
Really, you can have it.
Okay. Thanks.
See you around.
Hey, kid. Catch.
Wow! Thanks, Mayor John.
Tell me that's not real.
It's fully real, yeah.
Oh wow.
Trump is a jagoff.
I only ever saw a couple of clips of this guy trying to give speeches and simply not being able to string a coherent sentence together.
Who is he?
I don't know. I just saw a couple of clips of him there a few days ago.
I
don't know what his background is.
I think
Wasn't he a
player
wrestler?
one was just. I think player one was saying that this is them insulting us now by putting these people up there to they know they can still beat us with people like this.
What? Beginning his professional career in the insurance industry. Oh, there's a shotgun incident. Fetterman was criticised for an attack in North Braddock when he heard a sound he thought was gunfire and followed an unarmed jogger whom he detained with a shotgun. Fetterman thought that shotguns were kids shooting bottle rockets. Fetterman said no debris had been found. He pointed the shotgun at his chest while he loaded the gun and then aimed the gun at his face. Fetterman denies he pointed the gun at Memery and said he only pointed the gun in a way to show him that he was armed and that he didn't even have a round chambered or the safety off. I thought this guy was like a retired wrestler.
He supports greater restrictions on gun purchases.
Not for him though.
Yeah, probably not for him. Yeah.
I think he should really have a sugar tax imposed on him.
How would you end up looking like that? I don't know
Salads, mate. Salads all the way.
He's a strong supporter of the Israel-United States relations. He's a proponent of legalization of marijuana, calling the issue a political bazooka, and that leaving the issue alone is giving an opportunity for another party to gain political support for a pro-marijuana legalization agenda.
Yeah, so he's cynical.
Supports minimum wage $15 an hour. Was implementing a wealth tax. He has stated, "You know it when you see it," and has those who have yachts could be used as a potential benchmark. So if you that's what they do in. No, they do the opposite in Greece. Like, if you have a boat, you get tax exemption. So lots of people just have like a boat in their garden just to like get the tax exemption.
Brilliant.
Onshore accounts.
Onshore accounts. This isn't actually to do with the election. It's just it looks like an election style map. So, what was the conclusion we drew from this map?
I was thinking it was a black thing, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's where
are these the states that can still actually identify what a penis is?
or on which sex they belong.
Yeah.
It's obviously way more anxiety on the East Coast, anyway. That's for sure.
I think it is a black thing. Like, people are jealous of the black community, so they're trying to enlarge their penises to please their women. Is that right?
It seems like the state demographic makeup would fit that, but I wouldn't say it's a terrible map either. That's unfair. It's a good map.
Okay.
I wonder what the interesting penis enlargement by regions of Japan would be like.
They don't. I don't think they actually consider big penises as a good thing in Japan.
Okay.
They think hard penis is more important than big penis. I was talking to some guy and he was like, "Oh yeah, our penises are small, but they are very hard," and I was really proud of it being really hard.
Germany is the world's capital of penis
what?
enlargement.
Oh,
Of penis enlargements. 1 in 5 surgeries takes place in Germany.
what?
Wow.
Mm.
I did say before, it is a place where you are still legally allowed to have sex with animals. I don't know if there's a connection there, but Germans.
They're jealous of the horses.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I got into TikToks a year ago. Not into them anymore, thankfully, but here's some funny ones. I added a bit to the end of this one as well.
I think it's really funny when people use beta male as an insult. Like, first of all, I don't subscribe to the...
I think it's hilarious when betas make videos about being called a beta. I don't subscribe to your ideology of being called a beta. Too bad. Too fucking bad. I don't care what you think you subscribe to. If you're a beta male, there's nothing you can do to change that. Only beta males will say some shit like that. And if you're an alpha, you're not someone I want to hang out with.
This guy's giving me beta energies as well, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, if you're a fucking
It's
beta,
the-
you
it's
don't get
the-
a chance to hang out with
It's the hairdo.
a fucking
I'm not
alpha.
saying nothing.
Sorry to say it, but they wouldn't really want to hang around you. But yeah, it's now time for D-Train to go in the forest and go collect some rocks and, you know, pick some fucking weeds and shit. Empaths, rise up. See you later. Yeah. Alphas, rise up. Shy hung alphas. Rise up.
Beta, beta, beta,
so much.
beta, 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 beta.
Who is that black guy? I've seen him before.
Jesse Lee Peterson.
Jesse
He's
Lee Peterson, yeah.
he's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, he's old school, that guy.
Like way old school. Like, he's like, "Do you love your mother?" And if you say yes, he's like, "Beta." He has some very, very strange views.
It's like Dominic Cummings.
Oh, this is some classic British TV.
What is your view about breastfeeding in public places?
Children have to be fed. It's the most natural thing in the world for a mother to want to feed the child. When a child is hungry, a child is not prepared to wait too long. So I have nothing against a woman feeding a child in public.
Do you think some women are sort of indiscreet and flash a bit too much boob?
No, don't think so at all. Love to see a bit of boob. More the merrier. I mean, when you get to my age, you long for things like that, remembering the past with delight.
Did you notice he stumbled on the child as well? Listen.
Thing in the world for a mother to want to feed the child. When a child to want to feed the child.
Have you seen that Fry and Laurie sketch where it's like the old man? He's like, "I've never had oral sex. I've never sucked on the nipples of a Babylonian maiden."
Yeah.
Okay, what different generations lol so random phases look like?
This is what different generations lol so random comedy phase looks like.
Ooh, where is the fish? Ooh, it's all rather silly, isn't it? Whoa! You're supposed to expect upper-class British people to act sensibly, but we're acting very silly, aren't we? I am Cornholio! Ooh! Snoochie boochie! Cornholio! Ooh! That makes me want to go home and kiss a banana. Mwah!
Sorry.
My message to anyone who is racist.
Stop it! Stop!
That was Fetterman's winning video. That's what won him it.
TikTok.
Do you hear that? Like in China, they don't let their version of TikTok basically just has like science videos up until like the age of 14. and all education sort of orientated stuff, and then they just let this one rip on the rest of the world.
Yeah. It is. Do either of you have TikTok?
I used to, but I don't go on it anymore.
I downloaded it recently just to have a look for a couple of days, and I'm convinced that is now going to be the end of us. I think we're finished now. TikTok's the reason why.
It's addictive.
Yeah, it's like like kids in, I think in America they want to grow up to be a YouTube influencer. It's like the most, or an influencer is the most popular thing. And in China it's an astronaut. And it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. There's a yawning divergence there.
Yeah.
Simply not going to be bridged.
Next time on Memery Hole. Philosophy, psychology, maths, physics, economics, political science, sociology, biology. I just love that. Fucking Daniel Radcliffe walking that many dogs.
Walking loads of dogs.
Oh, just one more thing, Mr. Baldwin. Where in the script does it say that you fire the gun?
Oh.
Cannabis use disorder may be linked to the growing number of heart attacks in younger adults. Add it to the list.
Couldn't be anything else.
Elmo been getting stoned.
Video quality the prosecution had. Oh, yeah, versus the video the quality the defense had. Rittenhouse trial. Yeah, so we'll probably dive into the Rittenhouse stuff next week.
Cool. He's been doing all right, hasn't he, since?
Yeah,
or maybe he hasn't actually. He's balling, but I think there's some.
But I think he's balling in ways that the people who supported him probably wouldn't approve of.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
What's happening with Mr. Rittenhouse?
He was supposed to be the chosen one, I think, but he's a bit of a simp.
Right.
Autism. Toe walking has been linked to autism spectrum disorders, which affect a child's ability to communicate and interact with others. Yeah, when I read this, I thought I had it because I walk on my toes.
Don't we all walk on our toes?
I walk around like a ballerina.
Why?
I don't know, just always have. I guess I'm autistic.
But I do that as well, and people said when I was growing up, I would be like in a wheelchair by now because it was a weird way to walk. But maybe this is just a podcast for the autists. Christ.
When I first started Tesla, I had two things: billions of dollars and other people's ideas.
I've got a friend who's got like quite a successful startup now, and I was like, "What's the secret?" He's like, "You just need loads of money." I'm like, okay,
yeah,
all right."
I know several fabulously wealthy people, and every single one of them did the exact same things. But the secret is to have quite a lot of money when you start out.
Like, yeah.
Great. They're all moving their money out of the country at the moment to get away from Hunt.
Ooh.
Then they'll be on the hunt.
Oh yeah, there's loads of capital flight, loads of it.
Don't they sort of predict that when they're going to come up with these ideas?
You would think that their ideas were joined up, but I don't really believe they are. They're too stupid.
Yeah.
They can't really be thinking these things through. They must be fighting cats in the background.
Yeah, how COVID conspiracists are shifting to climate denial.
I was doing that way before COVID.
Same.
Next, they'll be denying heart attacks. I'm a heart attack denialist. I don't think heart attacks are real.
God.
Okay, we did it. We did another one.
One bites dust.
Cheers, lads. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's fun.